Is that all you care about? The product?
I love it when a plan comes together. I guess even when it's an evil plan. And the Penguin is surprisingly quick on his feet. I mean, it's like he's the smartest guy in a room surrounded by a bunch of dummies. So let's break down the next phase of his scheme. In episode 1, the Penguin showed that he's ready to start making the moves necessary to become the head crime boss in Gotham, even if everything was not completely to plan. Sometimes it's about sticking the landing, and yeah, he did end up getting tortured, but you know. And undeniably, he technically stuck the landing. Let's break it down real quick. The Penguin kills the new boss for making fun of him, then left the body in the trunk of a car, but he took the ring. The ring was owned by the leader of another crime family, and the Falcones wore it as a trophy, I think. After that, the Penguin just went to his job like nothing happened.
That ain't gonna stop drop heads from buying it.
No. He gets a call, but he plays it cool. He eventually gets interrogated by the worst member of the crime family. Sophia just got out of Arkham for a bunch of murders. So yeah, she eventually digs up dirt that he might have done it. So that's good enough for her to torture a guy. But before he's taken in, he goes to the jail that the crime boss, Salvatore Maroni, that originally owned the ring. That guy doesn't seem to like the Penguin. They have a past. But he is smart enough to leave the ring. Now here is the absolute genius part. While he was getting tortured, his new right-hand man, Victor, was getting the body, and he cut the pinky finger off where the ring would have been. And then he sent the car at the Falcone's house. Sophia finds her brother's body in the car and the missing pinky. So now Sal has the ring. The Penguins just made his enemies fight each other. The episode literally ends with the Penguin and Vic having slushies in the city. Okay, we're all caught up. Let's move on to episode 2, where Sophia is having a flashback to her time in Arkham. You can hear the screams of the mentally ill people echoing through the halls. It's a sound that feels like it would never stop. In a place where you're supposed to be working on becoming mentally stable, it sounds like the part of the Hunger Games where they let the Mockingjays loose on them.
It's okay, they're just mutts, it's not real!
Anyways, a doctor played by Theo Rossi from Sons of Anarchy pushes her into a room where her brother is waiting with a prison phone. She is really happy to see him, and she holds her hands up to the glass. And he holds his hand up back, but wait, his pinky is missing. Didn't he just lose his pinky?
I swear to God, one day I'll get you out of here.
Then boom, a gun comes from the shadow and shoots him in the back. The blood hits the glass and the alarm goes off and the metal doors close on them. The red flashing light is driving her to a panic attack, and her eyes are huge and she can't control her breathing. That's when it turns out this is just some weird therapy using some Knight Rider light.
Knight Rider, a shadowy flight into the dangerous world of a man who does not exist.
She loses it, hitting Dr. Russ in the face, and he has to restrain her. But it seems like he's done this before.
Come with me. Count with me.
That's when we learn that the doctor's name is Julian Rush. Some people are saying this could be Dr. Hugo Strange, but I don't really know about all that. He doesn't seem all that shady, but he is definitely trying to get in with Sophia in whatever way he can. He tells her that she's not in Arkham anymore and that she's safe, but
I'm not safe. I'm home.
the Penguin sits in his plum car and he looks over at Arkham Island and doesn't look very happy about what he has to do. Sal has called him in for a meeting.
Trying to force my hand to take a fall for you?
I ain't forcing nothing, Sal.
Let's just say he figured out Penguin's plan, but the Penguin said that it's basically a gift, that Sal is now the big name on the street, and he kind of says, you're welcome. But Sal doesn't really want his family wrapped up in a mob war while he's in jail. However, the Penguin does his talking thing. Sal's wife, played by Shohreh Aghdashloo from, well, everything, but most recently The Expanse, says that Penguin's a dog, and dogs can be made to submit. Sal agrees, and they make a deal.
I claim Alberto. You make good on the drops you promised.
Penguin is now a double agent. He tells them where to find the truck of the contaminated drops. Let's not forget that they're contaminated with sewer water, which can't be good for the eyes. Anyways, Penguin says, I'll be on the follow car, so don't kill anyone in the follow car. Everyone in the first truck can be killed. I mean, sounds as easy as taking candy from a...
Get on the truck with the product.
Vidi, played by Michael Kelly from, again, everything, but House of Cards is what I remember from the most. He wants Penguin to ride in the truck and protect the product. Probably a smart move on his part, so Penguin reluctantly gets into the main truck. But if you have a goldfish memory...
You know what the happiest animal on earth is?
Not now, Ted. Not now. If you have a goldfish memory, they're gonna kill everyone in the main truck. So Penguin, now in the main truck, knows what's gonna happen soon. The driver tells a horrible joke, but Penguin uses this joke. He starts telling his own, and he moves into a better spot in the back. Once they start getting shot at by the other gang, he opens fire, killing everyone in the truck. Except for the driver, who manages to get a few shots off at the Penguin, but ends up killing Sal's guy, Ozwalt. Remember that name, he's gonna be important. The Penguin even kind of saves Sophia's bodyguard. It's kind of crazy, making him look good to both sides. Honestly, this dude is playing chess when everyone else is playing checkers. And also, the improv. I mean, it's evil improv, but it's good improv. Let's admit, it's some good improv. Back at the mansion, they're going over the story. Penguin sounds like a hero in the hallway, but in the other room, he's getting yelled at by Vidi. Vidi is pissed.
Maroney's walked away with the whole goddamn stash.
But the Penguin stands his ground. He says that he saved lives. His bad about the product, but what's more important? All of this is what Sophia walks into.
Is that all you care about? The product?
She says that they're humiliating the Falcone family. They killed her brother, and now they stole a huge amount of the street Visine. She wants them all strung up across the city to send a message to everyone, but above all, get justice for Alberto. She says that there's no way that the Maronis were working alone and that there's a rat in the family.
You waltzing in here like you mean something. You don't call the shots around here.
But Vidi isn't having it. She just can't come in here all crazy eyes and accuse someone in the family of being a rat. But Uncle Mob Boss, Luca, the new head of the family, he increases all security everywhere and says that anyone caught selling the drops will be in a lot of trouble, hopefully making the drops worthless to the Maronis. But the Penguin plays this perfectly. He tells Sophia that everyone thinks she's crazy.
You can feel it.
But she has Alberto's new drug. Once they get that, they'll be back on top. Keep in mind, he's talking about getting thousands of people addicted to an illegal substance like they're trying to corner the market on smartphones. But Sophia isn't feeling his elevator pitch. She says that she doesn't need him, so he plays it as that he owes her something. Even though she tortured him last week, but whatever, he tried, you know? Later, Penguin and Vic are at Penguin's apartment, and it looks like they're planning to have a little party. They invited over a few of those ladies from episode 1. Meanwhile, Sophia is at the bar with a drophead detective. He's fiending because he can't find his drugs. But when he sees Sophia...
No, I'm sorry, but all respect, no.
She slips him some drops and some money and then tells him to find out who the rat is in the family. He's not happy about having to figure out that part, but he likes drops.
A gift for your condition.
So he's in. Back at Penguin's apartment, he gives a little speech, introduces Vic to a cam girl, and then he just goes into his room alone. Vic actually has some game, but he also has a lot to make him insecure. His stutter, which no one should be ashamed of, he can get through, but when she brings up what happened to his home and how it was destroyed by the floods...
So, how do you know Oz?
The Penguin is back to work in his room. Also, he has safety deposit boxes in his bedroom. The head lady walks in and calls him out for putting her and her girls in the line of fire. But he starts talking, and if the Penguin has a superpower, it's knowing what to say and when to say it. He is unstoppable if you just listen to him.
Ain't nothing about Sophia Falcone I can't handle.
But remember, Sophia is a wild card. And she's not mentally well. She was let out of Arkham because of the city's inability to take care of patients after the Riddler's attack.
Take it up with the Riddler.
Okay, we're halfway through the video and you haven't subscribed yet. That's kinda crazy, like Sophia Falcone level crazy. So you better subscribe before your family sends you to Arkham. It's not the best place to be, so yeah, just, you know, hit the subscribe button. She's having intense dreams in which she scratches her neck really deep in real life, and she doesn't even have nails. It looks like she trimmed them way down to try to stop the scratching from happening. Across town, the Penguin's mother's dementia is getting way worse. She was found across the street thinking that she was going to Mass. It's not Sunday and she wasn't wearing a coat. She definitely needs 24-hour care, but the Penguin knows she wouldn't want that. But something bad is going to happen soon. She's tired of being cooped up in the house, and the Penguin says that soon things will change. I'm trying to figure out why he can't just pay to put her in like an amazing retirement community. He's got the money. He just gave his lady friends thousands of dollars for one night.
I appreciate the gesture, but this is too much.
So maybe he's worried that his enemies might find her, or maybe she has a past with the mafia and she has to hide, so if he's not powerful enough, they'll kill her. But Penguin said that he started as a driver, so I don't know how much mob history the Cobbs have. Or maybe he just knows that she's slowly losing the battle to dementia, and he's scared to lose his mother. That step means it's real and that he's going to completely lose her soon. There were 3 brothers in the pictures that we keep seeing. You see Oz, but who are these other 2? Where did they go? Whatever it is, it led her to put extreme pressure on the Penguin, and I mean extreme.
If my son is nothing, what am I?
I don't think that that's how it's supposed to work, but okay, you know, making of a supervillain. At Alberto's funeral, the Penguin wants to get Luca alone to see if he can try to turn him against Vidi. But Luca shrugs him off, and honestly, it's kind of a bad time to try to do business. There's protesters at the funerals to try to send Sophia back to Arkham, which she did kill like 7 women, so, you know, I get it. She's having a cig and watching them protest her freedom. Penguin walks up and pretends that he was there the whole time.
I was in the back, thinking about how much Al would have hated it.
She falls for it, I guess, but the Penguin starts talking about his brothers. They didn't have a service for his brothers because his mother really didn't want to deal with it. She didn't get out of bed for like a month, and then just one day she woke up. She took him to a jazz club to see a band. They danced all night, and he says that's how they celebrated them. But Sophia is focused in on that he has a mom, and her eyes are so evil. This is a long way from the How I Met Your Mother Kristen Milotti.
As long as I can, and I can never stop loving her, not even for a second.
But after that, the Penguin's mother became a good mom. He says that the pain of death will eat you alive.
It's a hell of a lot more fun to dance.
But then she's called away and the bodyguard whispers that the detective has found something. At the same time, Oz gets the text that he needs to meet with the Maroney family. Sophia meets a detective and he has Ozwalt, the guy that was shot while running point for the Maroneys during the drug heist. He's gonna die because they took him from the hospital, but they can get info out of him first.
You better hurry up, because he ain't gonna last long.
She's not really happy about the timing of all of this, but she tells her bodyguard to put him in the basement. Penguin is at the Maroneys and he gets grilled about Ozwalt being taken from the hospital. He says that it was Sophia.
It's gotta be Sophia Falcone acting on her own. Chick just got out of Arkham, so she's a little...
That doesn't work, and they just decide to kill him. So he drops the dirt that he has on Luca's wife having an affair with Johnny Vidi. So the boss's wife is banging the underboss. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a scandal. Lady Boss Maroney takes the dirt, but also says you better hurry and get their man back. Ozwalt knows a lot about the Penguin.
And I suggest you hurry, because if the Falcons get him to talk, he'll have a lot to say about you.
So the Penguin has to race back to the funeral. Even at her own brother's funeral, everyone whispers and talks about being around this crazy murderer. Keep in mind that they're all a mob family, but fine. She picks up a few pickles and she just eats them right off of the buffet. Everyone talks louder, so she grabs a handful and she just stuffs her face with them and then just slaps them back down. Right about then, the Penguin and Vic show up at the funeral. The plan is for Vic to plant the jewelry that they found in Vidi's car, and the Penguin is gonna find Ozwalt. Vic is worried as hell. Sophia is still waiting for Ozwalt to wake up from the morphine, but everyone is there, so the Penguin just walks over to Vidi and says,
You should have told me you had one of those scumbags here.
He said that there's someone important in the basement and that he's heard that he didn't have the Penguin and his guys do it after he lost men during the heist. So Vidi and his buddy go check it out. Sophia is impatiently waiting in the hallway and can't pay attention to her cousin's small talk about going to Italy on a girls trip, blah, 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 blah. That's when Sophia gets caught. And that time gives Penguin time to sneak in and talk to Ozwalt. He tells him to remember the name Johnny Vitti. When they ask who he worked with, say it was Johnny Vitti and that he'll get Ozwalt out of here alive after it's over. But then Vic isn't able to plant the jewels, so plans change and he has to kill Ozwalt. Remember, this is about sticking the landing.
We all gotta make sacrifices, pal.
When they find the body, everyone is called in that was on the drop's drop. Vitti is pissed while they're being searched and they say that they're looking for a knife. Probably a lot like the knife that the penguin used to kill the guy that they're looking for, the person that killed the guy. So the penguin hides it in his sleeve and then picks a fight with Vitti. During the commotion, Sophia's bodyguard gets involved and he slips the knife into his pocket. Smooth. Now Sophia won't have anyone to rely on to help her complete her schemes.
You were there with him that night. You killed him.
The bodyguard begs, but Sophia is just trying to find a gun to shoot him. She has heard enough. But from behind her, Luca, the crime boss, pulls the trigger and blows him away.
More confident than she was.
Huge stiff on it!
Now she's mad she didn't get to kill him. You really cannot please this woman. Luca thinks it's time for her to leave Gotham. You know, for her safety. Maybe take a trip to Italy. Turns out that the small talk from her cousin to take a girl's trip to Italy was just planting a seed to get her out of town. Sophia is not happy about this, and the penguin is ordered to clean up the bodies, so Vic is digging a big grave. After he's done, he makes Vic lay down next to the bodies.
Lay down. Where you belong.
Vic is terrified and thinks he's gonna get killed. But it's a lesson, a very scary lesson, but probably something Vic needed to hear if he's going to start in the mob business. That's when Sophia finally calls the penguin and says to meet her at her family's graves. She's pissed, and she wants to take over the family in her own crazy way.
This should be fun. What do you say, Oz? You in?
Let's dance.
Hey, thanks for watching. Click here for more videos and subscribe to keep up with all the Blake's World updates. I'd appreciate it. All right, I'll see you next time.